Nope felt like a movie that was going for so many different things, but only at a really surface level. And honestly, I just gotta say, it's left me really disappointed. Nope was easily my most anticipated movie of this year, by far. The last time I was this excited for a movie was probably Endgame. Like, I was dying to see this thing, and it's only just come out tonight here in Australia, and I'm left feeling just kind of mid on it. It's left me feeling not too much. Like, I feel like I don't have that much to say. I feel like it didn't leave me wondering. There wasn't much of a sense of wonder. It didn't leave me intrigued. It didn't have me wondering, why was this that way? You know, what did this thing mean? All of the things that I didn't understand, which obviously being a Jordan Peele film, there were things I didn't understand, and I was expecting that. I went in expecting not to understand everything, but those things that I don't quite understand, I don't care to. It doesn't really leave me questioning things in a wondrous, fun kind of way. It just leaves me being like, I don't care why the shoe is left standing up in that one scene. I don't really care. I don't feel like it matters that much to the plot, to much of anything, really. And for that reason, I just gotta say that I would say Nope is easily Jordan Peele's worst film, and it pains me to say because he's one of my favorite filmmakers, and it's still now, I will be very excited for his next film. And still now, I gotta say, I don't think Nope is bad. I don't think it's a bad movie. I didn't dislike watching it. There wasn't a lot about it where I'm going to be like, that was shit, that sucked. Because no, nothing sucked, but it just didn't feel quite on the level. I just feel like it could have been so much more. That being said, I want to be fair and I want to critique Nope as what it is and not as what I wish it would be, if that makes any sense. I don't want to be like, look, I would have preferred this genre, I would have preferred that, rather than actually trying to critique what it is. Because first things first, this isn't much of a horror movie. It's in there a bit. This is a sci-fi horror, but it really leans a little bit more into that sci-fi that, I don't even know, it's a hard film to box in, which I kind of respect in that regard, to be honest. Like, there are things that I like about this movie. I like that it's not just very easy to define, I suppose, because I do think that it's unique in certain ways. But I also think that it's not as unique as it possibly could have been. Now, I am going to spoil this film, and I'm not going to explain everything. I'm going into this expecting that you have seen this, so I'm just going to bring some shit up as it comes to my mind, okay? That's how it's going to go. And I needed to say that before I say that. It's aliens, right? And we all knew that before we watched it, or more specifically one alien. And that's something that disappointed me, because going into the movie, I was hoping it was going to be more than just, it's aliens, but that's it. It's aliens. That being said, I did think that there was a pretty damn clever Jordan Peele type twist on this alien. And I really did appreciate that it kind of changed the idea of what a UFO is and can be. Rather than it being a ship for some sort of extraterrestrial beings, the UFO itself is the extraterrestrial being. And that's kind of really interesting. It's like this kind of organic UFO, and it's kind of gross and it's kind of creepy, and I really do appreciate that, and I do think that that is a really unique idea. I just think that that's one of the only unique ideas in this film, which feels harsh because there's a lot in here that I do like. I like the characters, for instance. I think that they're all pretty likable, and I think all of the actors in it are really awesome too. I also think this is like a pretty beautiful movie, and I like a lot of aspects to it. Like, there was this one scene where, because the UFO, this organic UFO, has to eat, and that's what it's doing throughout the movie when it's killing people. It's literally feeding itself, much like a wild animal needs to. It starts to kind of spit out all the waste. Like, it'll have bits of metal and bits of whatever and bits of blood. And so after this one scene where it basically massacres an entire small town of people watching this little cowboy show thing, all this blood just comes out of this weird UFO thing all over the main characters' house. And that part was just kind of an epic little horror moment that I appreciated. I also very, very much liked the scene that was set as a flashback for Stephen Ewan's character, Jupe, and his experience as a child actor when a wild animal kind of goes unhinged and starts attacking people. And there's definitely a critique there where it's like, well, we probably shouldn't be treating animals this way. And with that being said, yes, I do think that that's a good critique, you know, and I like that in this film itself, they go as far as to animating said monkey instead of having an actual monkey in there, because, well, you can't really criticize that, but then still do it, can you? So I guess that was kind of a fair little thing right there. And that was the best scene of the entire film. And I kind of wish that this film, Nope, was about the monkey scene, like, all in all, to be honest. But like I said, I should talk about what the film was rather than what I wish it was. And that being said, I don't quite see why the monkey scene was was in there. As much as I loved it, as much as I thought it was probably the best scene of the whole film, it didn't feel like it was really all that relevant to the rest of the plot. It didn't feel like it mattered too much to anything, to the character, to the story, whatever. It did show an essence of the character in Dupe and how he kind of tries to constantly capitalize on tragedy. And I do think that that's sort of an interesting concept, but I just don't think that the film really goes anywhere with it. And that's kind of my main issue with the film. I feel like it brings up a lot of different concepts, but I just feel like it doesn't really say much apart from, this is a concept, isn't it? And then it's like, okay, next thing, let's get back to the alien or whatever. And it's like, I feel like you could have done so much more there. Before going into watching this film, I heard from everyone being like, okay, there's no social commentary and whatever. All the people that are always like, go woke, go broke or whatever, they were like, yeah, this is going to be Jordan Peele's best movie because he's not putting it in your face. And to me, I find that really disappointing. I feel like it didn't have as much to say, and I felt like it was infinitely less interesting because of that. I think people exaggerated though. It does have things to say, just not as much, I guess, if that makes any sense. This is much more surface level. This is much more of a, I guess, crowd pleaser, like a blockbuster, at least as close as Jordan Peele gets. And to me, I just have come to expected so much more from this director, if that makes any sense. Like, I love this guy. I think he is absolutely ingenious, and I just think that Nope really had huge potential, and it didn't quite meet that, if you ask me. I think that coming from any other director, Nope is fine. Nope is a good movie, it's whatever. But it's not Jordan Peele good, if you ask me. And again, this is expectations. This is, it's partly my fault, I admit. And if you don't feel the same way, that's all good. I know that this is quite a popular film at the moment. Everybody's pretty much praising it, and I'm kind of alone here. And that's a good thing, I think, because I actually want this film to succeed. I think that Jordan Peele as a filmmaker deserves it, and I think that just for the horror or sci-fi genre or whatever, for independent filmmaking, for all these sorts of different little aspects to this film, I feel like it's going to be a win if it's kind of looked at respectfully. But I was just disappointed. And I can't really shrug that off. I can't really get rid of that disappointed feeling. Maybe I was expecting too much. I don't know. But basically, the whole point of the film is just that it's this alien. And then it's kind of this monster film or whatever. And I just thought it could have done more, I suppose. And so I guess that's about all that I have to say. Nope is good. It's a recommend, I guess, but only a light recommend, you know what I mean? Something that you should see. If you're only going to see like one thing this week and you haven't seen Bullet Train, fuck me, I saw Bullet Train the other day and I loved Bullet Train. And I'm really unhappy to say that I liked Bullet Train more than I liked Nope, but it's true. I had a fucking blast with Bullet Train, and I hate that because I wanted to love this movie. I wanted to love it, and I liked it, and that's it. And that's a huge critique, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so that's all. Please, before you go, do that thing. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit, and I'm out of here. Goodbye.